So we're going to do something a little different for you guys today. Fuller is actually going to follow me the entire day. We're going to do a little bit of MTV Cribs style, and I'm going to tell you what we're up to all day. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, and I'm going to tell you what I think those people are thinking. Maybe I shouldn't do that part, but you might want to fucking hold on. Let's go.
Ultimately, you decide if you're going to live or not. Am I just going to get through life, or am I going to live?
Everyone's a winner.
Because it's a fucking choice. I mean, you literally decide that. And some people decide it when they're 70, and it's too late.
Today we got a pretty busy day. Fuller, I have no idea what the rest of it is, but I know what the first thing is. We are headed to the Hilton to speak to the Rotary Club. I was there about 2 years ago and kind of told them our story. We were just kicking off. I had just quit my corporate life, and it'll be pretty sweet to go back and do an update. Last time we had just bought the Lambo, so we were there kind of showing it off and doing a little talk, and then today we've got CO2. Our big white truck is all redone. So I'm pretty excited to go and show them what we're doing with sales. Sales are way up, and so is the truck. I think it's just business men and women getting together once a month to hear speakers, go on tours, talk business.
Is it like a networking?
It's networking, but I think they also do philanthropy. When I talked to them last time, I had no idea, and by the time I was done, I was getting the impression they were all successful businessmen and women, executives and business owners. My plan is to do like a 15-minute, here's who we are, here's where we're at since we saw you 2 years ago, which would be pretty sweet because we've exploded since then, and they were impressed that we exploded back then, and then do like 15 minutes of Q&A so that I can figure out what value they want to get out of this. Oh, I like that sunroof. Oh, look at that, Fuller. Look at that motherfucker. Oh. I don't know if you could even see it. Can you? Quit following me, Fuller. There were some signs, but I chose not to read them.
There he is.
Good morning.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Fantastic. Where do you want
Where's
us?
the video man? How are you?
So what I'll do is I'll kind of do an intro of kind of go a little bit further than Doug did about how the heck I ended up here selling custom wheels. And then I'll show you a video to kind of explain why that guy's doing that. And then I'll go into the numbers, because I'm sure you guys like numbers and where we've come from in the last 4 years. So like Doug said, I spent about 5.5 years at I became the plant manager, was my last role there of ARF, so the Airport Fire Rescue. I didn't like that it was union against management, so it always just was inner conflict that I couldn't get along with and go have a beer with the guys that I worked with every day. So I went on to, because they were doing the big lean initiative, and you know, they were much more people, and I really liked that. I went and did that, and I was there as a lean improvement facilitator. So I spent some time in open heart surgery. I think was my first 30 days. I spent 5 cases watching open heart surgery, which was insane because I'd never been in an OR in my life, and now I'm watching somebody have an 8-hour procedure. We did a ton of stuff. We did extubation rates by 70%. We improved them just by putting process in place and having people do flow diagrams and follow standards, because otherwise each nurse was just making it up as they went based on the patient versus using those algorithms, just like when you fly an airplane. So we did a lot of that in healthcare. By the time I was ready to exit, I was the vice president of, so I had about 600 women reporting to me, and I spent 11 hours a day in meetings, and I knew that wasn't my life. 2 weeks before I had left, I told them, you know, my body's covered in tattoos, I listen to Tupac, I love Bush Light, and I swear a lot. And my whole team just went, I don't get it, because I'm standing there in a tie and a nice button-up shirt, which I'll never wear again. And I said, you know, I've been being somebody else for 11 years because I was told to go to college, get a degree, and become a CEO someday by working up through the ranks. So I had this crazy idea about 4 years ago. I called my business partner then. We were playing around with a book chiropractor's online business. That wasn't going so well, but it was a lot of fun because we were in control because we had invented it. And I said, you know, what if we could make a way where people can figure out which wheels, which sizes and tires and suspension would fit on a truck? Because I've been trying to put a lift kit and some big wheels and tires on my Chevy Avalanche for 3 months, and I have to go on these forums, and it would take about 3 months of searching to get all the specs I need and see photos to say, yeah, that will fit even though the manufacturer says it won't. I can get it to fit if I'm willing to cut this and cut that. So I said, what if we could have a gallery where you show these pictures and then every spec, and what if we put all those specs in discrete fields so that they could be searchable? That brings me to why I'm here. I had to convince Doug, and I had to convince my mom, and I had to convince my wife and my entire family that I'm not an insane person. Because when I left here, I was, you know, making $185,000 a year. And when I started at the next morning on July 4th was my first day, Independence Day, I was making $20,000. So they were a little concerned, to say the least. I had saved up enough money to last 90 days. And I had gotten all my bills down to where I could survive on about $50,000 a year. So I knew if I totally failed, I had 90 days to go find a job making $50,000 a year. So I knew I was gonna be just fine. And the CIO at the time was Keith. He says 25 years ago I should have done what you're thinking about doing, do it. And I heard that from a couple people, so I just said the hell with it and I did it. So one thing you're gonna hear is I swear a lot because nobody can tell me not to anymore. I wear t-shirts everywhere I go and loud red shoes. I basically have taken my life back, is I guess my story. The reason he films everything is that there's a belief out there right now in social media that if you film everything, you can not only build your brand, but you can also create a personal brand where people rally behind you as a person as you build this business. Because 3 years ago when I left, I was in my garage, literally sitting next to my cousin, and then my business partner, Ben, was the programmer in Madison. That was our whole business. I would take a truckload of light bars and go to a local meet at a Walmart, and I'd be peddling light bars out of the back of my truck. So from VP of Theta Clark to selling light bars to high schoolers in parking lots. That's what I was gonna do to try to make it, and I'll show you what we did. My goal is to videotape my whole journey, because if it works really well, people will watch it and it will build my personal brand, which will build my brand. If it doesn't go well, my grandkids will get to see my life story. Just another day in the life of the dream job. You know, I laugh sometimes when I call it dream job because of all the jobs in the world, this is the best one, but I'll tell you what, it ain't frickin' puppies and rainbows. Because there's so much to learn about having big enough nuts to get coached. And you know, they called it coaching in my old job and they used it totally wrong because it usually was an ass chewing. I think it should always be, you know, the quarterback talking to his receivers about, I need you to catch that fucking ball. Not everybody can stand in front of a room and just take control and get the shit done. Not everybody can look at somebody and say, you're red on this metric, what are you doing? And what they tell you is, I'm gonna do some stuff. You can't accept that. I wanna know exactly what you're doing, by when, and who's gonna have it done. And next week, if you don't do it, I'm gonna hold you accountable. It's gonna be a big fucking problem. And not a lot of people could do that. You're gonna win in life. You're gonna kick ass, you're so determined, you're so motivated, and you're gonna get right to the top of the hill. But if you keep being the way you are, you're gonna be standing there all by yourself. So that's why Fuller videotapes everything. When I was here last time, I was only doing wheels and tires. We were on pace to do, I just bought a Lamborghini, so we must have been doing all right. We were just about to make $1 million that year in total sales. So we boiled it down, we were talking about it yesterday, we definitely should not have bought a Lamborghini that day because it was about half of our profit. But what we believed in is if you can keep me motivated, I can bring this as high as I can possibly dream of. Because when I'm motivated, I work pretty much 20 hours a day. I give a lot of our success to how transparent we are. Everybody in my company, which we were 3 when I was here 2 years ago, we're 23 because we hired another one yesterday. and we're looking for about 23 more. Oh, new employees have to know each other. So I met Fuller because of some truck meets, and he knows Banker, who is one of his friends, and then my brother works there, my cousin works there, and then my cousin's buddy works there, and then a couple of his friends work there. So one of our rules is you have to be an enthusiast. We will not hire somebody that doesn't love custom wheels. If you come through our parking lot, it looks like a car show. We lead the wheel fitment revolution. We're revolutionizing how people figure out what wheels and tires fit their vehicle. But then there's a comment that says, on a badass life journey. I tell all my guys, I don't know if you're gonna be here in 5 years. I don't know if I'm gonna be here in 5 years. But I know you're gonna be a better person in 5 years because of what we're gonna do here. So we've gotten deep into teaching them some of the lean techniques and some of the leadership stuff. They know exactly what I make. If I wanna give myself a raise, I let my entire team know that. I just brought on a VP of operations. They were in agreement that I could hire this guy. So I'm trying to put a plan in place where my team won't be left without a leader if something were to happen to me or if I get excited and go on to the next thing. So I tell them absolutely everything. So this building, we took a vote on the whole team, and unless all of them were comfortable, I wasn't willing to do it until I could get them comfortable. We have a rule, you have to play at least one game of ping pong, one game of foosball every single day, and I follow up every single day with the lead to make sure they're playing ping pong and foos. And that's our culture. And I told them yesterday, you know, it was feeling a little robotic, so take the day and go do something fun. Don't get into this repetitive mode where you're at a job. Because our rule is you're spending so much time there, you can't let it become a job. It has to be a lifestyle. So I constantly work the numbers to them, with them, so that they understand that the goals aren't just something I made up because it'd be sweet if we did it. They have a purpose. The worst thing you can do is nothing. I do not accept by Friday. Do it today. There just is no reason to not do it today. Especially if we said we were gonna do it, I won't take an excuse. And that the corporate world drove me so insane waiting for meetings and stuff that I refuse to do that now that I get to be the boss. I will put a plan in place with you if you want to make 6 figures, but it's on you. I tried to get them all there myself, and I learned that people that don't want to make $100,000 a year can never make $100,000 a year. You have to want it so bad that it's hard to breathe when you think about not making that money. And that's what I had to learn, because I tried to get my cousin there, and then I tried to get my brother there, and I tried to save the world and buying people cars so that they can get to work on time. And I realized that I can't do that. One of my top rules is you can tell me to fuck off if I'm wrong. You have to. I expect you to, because I'm wrong all the time. I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't accept resumes. I don't ask them about their past. I just ask what they're good at and what they want to do the rest of their life. And then I have them meet with every team member and talk about what do they want out of life. Because that's all that matters, is that you want to do this and that you want to be here. Our rule at Custom Offsets is you have to be positive. You absolutely are not allowed to be negative. You can be negative about a thing, get over it, move on. You cannot come into work negative, and you cannot leave work negative, because we have a management system where we go around, I go to the team lead every single day and I have the same 15 questions I ask. People have said, you know, I've thought about doing this, and I'll say, it's easy, let's start here. How much money do you want to make? And what do you want to do, and is it possible to make that money? Because you shouldn't quit your job and quit feeding your kids if your idea is stupid. And that gets rid of 90% of them. And that's what I've tried to help people do, is see it's not this dream. There's actual steps to getting there. And you can't risk everything. You have to be thoughtful about it. Everybody else said money's not a motivator. They don't get me. Money is my motivator. I love money. It's the money for the experiences. But these guys know they're not getting over $15 an hour if they're not going to put in the effort. But they're all on unlimited overtime. Fuller works about 50 extra hours every 2 weeks because he loves making videos, and he knows he can really rack up some cash and buy more race cars and boats that don't float. Too soon for that? I was amazed, and I was amazed last 2 years ago when I did this, how good their questions are. It's like they totally get your business within 10 minutes. So you can tell you're in front of a really intellectual group, because they literally, everything you said, they put all the pieces together. What was interesting is they cared more about our culture than our business. I thought they were going to be all about the numbers. Every single person that talked to me afterwards wanted to know about culture. How are you getting the culture that you're getting? How are you hiring? And I think the answers just mess with them, because if you're not real about it, you can't do what we're doing. You can't pretend to hire friends of friends. I am definitely still getting up an hour early. I'm definitely still making my bed every single day if my wife isn't still asleep when I leave. And
I've now started doing a little mini workout while I watch some YouTube get pumped for the day videos. So I think this hour early thing is I think I'm onto something. Mario, where are we going for lunch today, bro? Oh shit, I better practice my Spanish. We're just gonna keep driving forward and doing what we've been doing. It's gonna work. I mean, Lift It Live only got 60 views last night, but that's 60 more people than we would have engaged if we didn't do it. So it started at 80 and ended with 45, so keep going. We're still 400% up from January. We're gonna be fine. Yeah, do one of these. When I saw a sale come in, I went, boom, that's a big one. But you can't then look at the daily, weekly, monthly numbers and continue to celebrate, because that is fucking smoke and mirrors bullshit. Confuse yourself of how it's going. So that was an example of Bro Media. What we've done with these guys is they literally have a work board with their people and they move work from left to right. And then they've got a standard agenda. And then we've got a full shoot and schedule calendar that's updated absolutely every day. And these guys rotate through, taking turns leading this meeting so that everybody on the team is capable of leading us all through. So we don't necessarily have a leader structure right now. I want to have one someday, but for right now, everybody's getting a chance to just check it out and try it out. Okay, Fuller, I'm updating my board like I do every single day for our top 5 metrics. Yep, it's still 5. And then it is off to our leadership huddle, so you guys can come watch that too. Still 1 red metric, Fuller. But we're gonna get its ass. Gonna get its ass. What up, Ben? Ben, say hi to the world. They're following me all day today. Ben's my better half in this company.
Is this live somewhere, or it's just gonna be an all-day dream job today, or?
Yep, instead of filming all week, we're gonna film just one day and then pile it on over. But we're doing it like MTV Cribs, where I'm telling them everything I'm doing and then giving them a little synopsis about how I think that went. I just got my stat sheet done in time, like 4 seconds. 4 seconds I made it by. Could have been my last day. We have a plan for tonight? So that is our 11 o'clock meeting that we have every single day with our leadership team. So we have VP of Ops, we have our CIO, and then we have our office manager. And myself, we meet every single day at 11 o'clock. And those are the infamous stat sheets that you guys probably have seen. I'm not gonna show you the detail on there, but literally we each go to our teams and our leads and find out how their day is going, what things they need from us, and it's set questions that they know we're coming to ask every single day. Then we get together and we have another set of questions that goes up another level in the organization, and we ask those questions so that we as a team are all on the same page for today. What happened yesterday since we last talked? What's the plan for today? And then boom, we start kicking ass. Right, John? Fade to John. Did you get it? So Mario just hit his 90 days-ish.
Ish, like 100 days, 110.
Nobody's counting though. So what we're doing is I've made a deal with these guys. I want to take each of them for lunch once they hit that time frame and try to figure out who the hell they are. So get ready for this, Mario. We're gonna get tight by the end of this lunch.
Oh.
Tacos. And we only can speak Spanish, so that's gonna get weird. Now what are we gonna do, Fuller? Well, when we started, it was my cousin and my brother and my buddy and my other buddy, and then all of a sudden we hired somebody else's buddy that wasn't my buddy, so I didn't know who the heck he was. And after working here for 90 days, I still couldn't tell you if Mario had a car, a wife, or a house. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me that I would work with people every single day and not know anything about them. So we implemented the 90-day lunch with Mr. Sean, who I happen to be in this story. And now I get to go to lunch every 2 weeks. I think I really just implemented it because I love tacos, and I love tacos, and I love tacos, and mostly everybody wants to go for tacos. So now I spend about an hour and a half with everybody, and it's freaking awesome. Looking at what I've got next, and it looks like I am finally at 1:30 p.m. done doing stuff. So I got all my daily stat sheets done, got my team meetings done, got lunch done, and now I get to do whatever I want. So I'm gonna go make sure there's nothing on fire because I haven't looked at my email the entire day yet. Unless if something way cooler comes up, then I'm gonna go do that because email's boring. You should be filming Dream Job and telling them what we're doing right now. Is that Dream Job?
Yep.
Sweet. What's up, Dream Job? So right now we are doing 7 things, but we're also trying to go make a hot and new and a matchup. And I think another hot and another matchup, but Fuller wasn't doing his job, so now he's trying to figure out what episode we're on.
79.
And we're also trying to get Brad to hang up our new mission, vision, value statements, and Tim wants to tell us some awesome stuff about some lift kits we sold. Well, we're just making movies. So this is the weekly meeting for Ben, our CIO. He will take us through his metrics, unless if Luke's leading it today. Nope, Luke just panicked, he's not leading it. There's Ben. So Ben will take us through his metrics, which roll up to our higher level company measures. This is as far as I'm allowed to go. So ever since I gave the keys to Tim, he's in charge of Offset's garage and the warehouse. The warehouse is over there. They actually told me I'm not allowed to go on the inner side of this door. So I can watch from here. And it looks like that guy over there is making a bumper, fabricated bumper from some template pieces from Move. This truck I think is getting a full makeover, but I can't go ask. But I do know that Brad's been hanging up these signs for a good 6 or 7 days. It's looking good. You didn't even fingerprint it up. This is the ping pong room. It's a rule that you have to get out of your desk and play some pong once in a while. You would think we would get better as a team, but I think they're getting worse. Wait! Why is that parked in here?
It's gonna rain.
Is it? I need to go shut the sunroof on CO2. So I just got done hanging these up here. I'm totally exhausted, but I think it turned out really well. Now I'll just get these cleaned up. They didn't see that Brad hung them, did they? Well, everyone, that's my house. Now I gotta go fix me some dinner, and you guys need to get the fuck out of here. MTV Cribs, bro. I always wanted to be on that. I just don't have a very cool crib. I'd be able to stand in my kitchen and be like, and here's my crib. You just pan around, see the whole house, and off you go. Kevin, what'd you learn today?
That corporate America sucks.
How did you learn that?
And this job kicks ass.
How'd you learn that? You made that up? What the fuck?
He wanted to say something cool though.
Yeah. He's like, I've seen this show, I know what to say, I know what to say. Fuck corporate. Just put me on the show for once. You never put me on the show. Well, Mr. Fuller, did you learn anything today? So Fuller, I'm ditching you now. You guys, I'm out of here. It's about 6:16. Time do we start this morning? Like 6:30? So it's almost 12 hours, but I gotta go take my wife out for dinner and then I'll jump back on. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out my day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you like this better? Did you like when we do the whole week? This was literally just one day. I'm still wearing the same shirt. I didn't wear this shirt for a week. So that's one day, and we can do the same thing next week if you guys really like it. So let us know. Peace.
I carry so much weight that you'll probably never believe it. I fade, I fall, stand tall. Some dream of greatness while others stay awake to achieve it. I do this without no excuses. I just love winning less than I hate losing. I'm proving the rain through my era. So even if I die for centuries through history, I'm alive. Right? definition of a champion.